Welcome back. You're live on Expressive. Evidently, last year technology was very important in our country. You could think about introductions of, different technological products. We all had a whole discussion about SIM card registration and how effective it would be and all that data that's been gathered. A lot of those things happened last year. Let's put last year into perspective in terms of technology and review the things that happened and also look forward into what could be better this year. Francis Amwening is the president of the Internet Society of Ghana and is back to join us for this discussion. Good morning to you, Francis, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
It's good to see you.
Great, you're looking great. Thanks
a lot of things happened last year.
Yeah.
How did you find last year generally as a technological year here in Ghana?
Okay, from last year, I think Ghana, we're now catching up because there's been a lot of improvement in the tech space. And government is doing it bit, and NGOs, CSOs are also trying to play their part. A clear example is now Ghana is trying to move much into the climate space, clean energy. So if you could see, Ghana's now there's an upsurge of electric cars, electric vehicles, solar taxi is also on the rise. So because climate change is now an issue, a global issue. So in Ghana here, now if you walk around, you see a lot of charging points being built in Ghana.
Oh yeah,
that means,
for electric cars?
Electric cars.
Is that right?
We're making an effort to do away with the fossil fuel kind of vehicles. So that means it's an effort that we put it in place. So that is a good sign.
That's interesting, yeah.
That means we're catching up.
Francis, that's interesting, yeah. In terms of really, like when you mentioned charging spots being put together for electric cars and all, I just my mind just goes straight to the 37 to Osu Trotros, those specific ones. Those ones that emit so much smoke when they move around.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take us to get those off the streets?
It is all about policy because I know some countries which they have a time of 2025. They want to do away with diesel car completely. Yeah, but Ghana, it takes time. There's no a clear policy on that. Okay. We're just trying to make an effort. So I believe with time, once there's a policy decision on it, I think we'll have a timeline, probably 10 years from now, want to do away with petrol vehicles and we'll get there. But from now, we're only trying to catch up.
We're only trying to catch up.
We're only trying to catch up.
Ghana has made a lot of strides in terms of financial technology.
Yes.
I mean, we can talk about mobile money being arguably the most dominant mode of financial transactions.
That is very true. Yeah.
Let's put that in perspective. During last year, we clearly saw that mobile money is huge, and many would even say it has affected the banking sector.
That is true, yeah.
What's your take on what mobile money is today in Ghana and what the future holds for it?
All right. I think it's very good for the country because when you look at mobile money transaction, as you rightly said, people prefer to do the transaction in their comfort because I wouldn't want to queue. Personally, I don't remember the last time I walked into a bank because once I'm able to transfer the money from my account to my phone, I do my transaction. So, and I'm happy government is making an effort to improve fintech because if you could notice, Bank of Ghana has opened an office for fintech. That was in 2019, and they are making an effort to improve fintech. Fintech is basically financial technologies. Okay. Those are built up on to the banking to allow people to use mobile money transaction to build up and do transaction online. So that means we're making an effort. So I see mobile money to be the next big financial thing in Ghana because many people prefer. It was just the e-levy that came to distract it. But now that we're going back to the 1%, I believe Ghanaians are going to go back to the mobile transaction because it's almost the best than to go to a bank join a
But this is clearly affecting the banks, isn't it?
It is. With technology, with time, you have to improve because that is when the bank should think outside the box.
So are the banks late to the technology? Or what really seems to be the issue here?
I wouldn't say they are late. So probably they should adapt because that's a new phenomenon. So probably they should get a new system which is similar to the mobile money system, and they can go with the flow. Probably.
Go with the flow.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not too late, but it looks like it is this morning the news I hear that three banks are on the ropes. They may
fold up.
They may fold up, and that directly I point to mobile money in my mind. Like
Yes,
this may be a major reason why a lot of banks are on the ropes. A lot of monies don't go through the banks anymore.
Yes. So that comes. I should think that is why Bank of Ghana is pushing for the ECD, because if they don't do anything, that is why I'm saying they should think outside the box. So it's an effort, Bank of Ghana. I think it was announced somewhere about 2 years ago. They are still doing the beta, the trial version. Yes. So currently we're still doing testing. So I believe it's an effort to also meet up what mobile money is doing to the bank. So I'm sure with the introduction of the ECD, the banks will also be able to catch up. Yeah.
Let's talk about cybersecurity for a moment.
Okay, sure.
I mean, many people still feel that cybersecurity in Ghana is porous. Would that be your point of view?
No.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because cybersecurity, it is not an emerging tech. Cybersecurity has been with us from the day internet came to being in the 60s. And, as the internet grows, cybersecurity also grows, because you become more vulnerable when there's more internet connections. Okay, so a clear example is when it comes to mobile money, with issues of mobile money, when it comes to cybersecurity, there are two, I would say two kind of cybersecurity, okay? One has to do with the technical parts, one has to do with the social engineering. With that of mobile money, it's more of social engineering, because normally someone makes a call to you
and tries to
try to play with your
get money out of
a
you.
mind game, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So normally, what I normally tell people is, when it is too good to be true, don't go for it, because you've not entered into any draw. Why should they call it that you've won this ticket? Send this money to me for you to get this prize, and you are so much excited about it. So if it's too good to be true, don't go for it. That is what I tell people.
Mobile money, SIM card registration on your screens over there. You could see that was a big year for it in 2022. Do you know what percentage of people have fully been registered under this exercise, and if we have made headway in that regard?
All right, thank you. I wouldn't have the exact figures.
But there are lots of sanctions, the deadlines. Have those deadlines worked really?
They haven't worked. Personally, I think there's not been enough stakeholder consultation, because I believe when it comes to this SIM registration and the linkage with the Ghana card, I believe there should have been initial stakeholder consultation, which the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, which is the mother body which oversees activities of NCA, because NCA is the regulator, and probably the telcos and NIA. So initially, there should have been a stakeholder meeting so that they all agree on the timeline, because if you could see, when the ministry came to give a deadline, NIA will come out and say they can't meet the deadline, because NIA says they have a specific number they can do in a day. And at the time that was given, that means they had to up their game. Probably they had their budget for the year, and probably they presume if a day they are doing 100, they have a target for the year. So if you want the numbers, probably you should have sat down so that they say, okay, let's improve our margin, let's buy new equipment, let's employ new staff. Those provisions was not made. That is the reason for what we saw in Ghana. So I believe going forward, there should be a meeting between the stakeholders so that they agree on if a timeline is, because not that a timeline will be given. And one thing on the side of Ghanaians, normally when there's no timeline, we feel so relaxed, because
they won't go.
They won't go. They won't go. They won't go. So maybe yes, Ghanaians too have to change our attitude, because if you are given an opportunity to go and register your SIM, go, because they will say they don't have time, but when there's a deadline, they will have time to go.
The queues will be massive.
Oh yeah. They will have time to go. So probably
we're talking about the big topical issues in terms of technology in the year 2022. We want to welcome Prince Kaltufo, our guest who just joined us here. Let's begin with you to talk about the National Identification System, which was also really big last year, and its real effects on our country moving forward in terms of technology.
Yeah. So good morning once again to you and then your listeners. For NIA, I think it was quite a good initiative to come up with something like that to help us to be able to gather all of our information on a central system that can really be able to help us going forward. Because technology is one of the things that if we embrace it and then we use it well, it can help in national development and all of that. So NIA coming up with that initiative, it's not supposed to make our lives difficult or anything, but it's supposed to.
Let's put things
Yeah.
in perspective. Is that actually a central system? Like when you for the both of you, is there actually a central system where this data has been gathered? Do you know that for a fact?
Okay. Let me go first on this. Actually, for now, as we speak now,
Yeah.
there isn't.
You're joking.
Oh yeah, there isn't, because last year I was privileged to be part of a stakeholder meeting, which now government under National Information Technology Agency (NITA). It is building a government infrastructure architecture. It is an architecture that will house the various pieces of data. So for now, it's in silos. NIA has its data, DVLA has its data, Ghana Police Service, because I've ever been with Ghana Police. You know, they have the CCTV monitoring system. They even want to pick data from DVLA so that they'll be able to catch up with who owns this car. It's even difficult because there's no centralized data. So
Really?
system, yes. So now, that's what I'm saying, Ghana, we are catching up. Because government has made an effort in last year, and I believe from this year going forward. And one thing that makes it, once you think of technology, you also think of the cybersecurity aspect. So the Cybersecurity Authority is also gathering all the CI, that's critical information infrastructure, and which that happens to be part of it, because when that system is compromised, it's going to affect everyone. So it becomes a critical infrastructure. So government is also trying to collate all that and make it also protect it. So for now, it is not there.
That's interesting.
So I believe maybe going forward.
So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking that, now the AIA has information that has been consolidated from every possible angle on each individual. But that's not the case as we speak, according to what you just said.
It isn't.
And when you mean, when a technology person says the information is in silos, what does that mean?
No, okay, so what typically that means is that we don't have one central system that we push all of the data to. So just like he made mention, Ghana Police Service have their own data, maybe NIA has their own data, which, obviously is not going to help us in any way. Because if probably you go to DVLA, you want to have a license, they would not have to take your details all over again. But if you had a central system,
We just punch it in.
exactly.
And go.
It's just seamless.
But when and how is this consolidation going to happen? How is this consolidation supposed to happen?
Oh, I think very soon, because they've made a lot of engagement with the various stakeholders. So I believe very soon, maybe this year. Yeah.
What happens in that process where you want to centralize data and collect from the different silos and centralize?
Okay.
What's that process like?
Okay, so that is when you have to think of the cybersecurity very well, because now you want to centralize it. So if that is compromised, there's a single point of failure. So yes, because
if somebody cracks that, we are doomed.
Yes. So that is when that is when you have to make sure you have the various architecture to protect it before you even go into it. So I believe the various plans have been made, provision framework has been done. So I believe maybe this year it will be done. Yeah, and once it's done, it will be good, because that is when we become a much digitalized country, because information very seamless. Electoral commission, we have seamless data, because now we have duplication of data. Because I think probably with my Ghana card, the bank might have taken my data, and I have taken my data, MTN have taken my data, and it's duplications.
Everybody has taken your data,
Yes,
and you're keeping it.
So, but I believe once one person takes my data, it should be able to accessible anyway.
To everybody.
Yeah,
you want
to
to add
everybody.
something
Yeah,
to
sure.
that?
So on the aspect of he's saying on the cybersecurity, it's very important that as we try to migrate all of these systems on a central base, we take into consideration the security aspect of it, because like he mentioned, we are talking about information that are very sensitive, right? So once somebody gets this information, or compromise one system, then it means that he has access to so many databases that it should actually have been able to be possible. So in as much as we have frameworks and architectures, I think it should be we should consider the security aspect of it, right? So
Before
that
centralizing.
yeah, if
Otherwise, somebody cracks it. There you go.
exactly,
It's
so,
just like Milk Mill cracks the Jubilee House and everybody's screaming.
exactly. So
We're like, how?
so once you are putting all of these data together, even in terms of how we move it from one station to another, what kind of secure protocols and channels are we using? If we are bringing all of them together, how are you going to protect these systems? Because once somebody gets access to them, I mean, we have a whole lot of issue to tackle, and then we are going to spend more as a country to I mean, bring up the system back online. And as much as you have frameworks, I believe that they should also consider the security aspect.
Serious security.
Very, yes.
Serious
Yes.
security. Let's revisit the topic of digital transactions and digital payments, all of that. You know, last year we heard all sorts of new ones. Ghana Pay, Z Pay,
Pay.
something Pay. Everybody has a pay.
Yeah.
What is the key role of all of these digital transaction platforms, especially something like Ghana Pay? What's that supposed to achieve? Do you know, Francis?
Okay, yeah. I think Ghana Pay comes under the umbrella of His Excellency, the Vice President, what they launched about the interoperability so that you can seamlessly move money between platforms. Okay, because previously it was very difficult to move from cash from MTN to Vodafone, Vodafone to Tigo, Airtel Tigo, but now seamlessly you can move
can do
cash.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so and you know this there are a lot of them because now fintech is really doing well in Ghana. Fintech is a financial technology. Okay, now they are being regulated by the Bank of Ghana. They just they're able to build applications on top of application like e-commerce, able to connect to a banking app, so you'll be able to purchase online or make payment online with the mobile money or Visa card and the other stuff. So now, because after COVID, now people have come to prefer to shop online than to work. So that is why you have seen a lot of them around. So now it has come to stay, because I would prefer to be able to buy something on Gigi or something just on my phone, make payment, and the thing be delivered to me.
It's a platform like Ghana Pay. Did that platform come to compete with the already existing? There's one that I use, Express Pay or ZPay. Are they competitors, or Ghana Pay is above these other platforms, playing a more supervisory role, or they're in the same? They're in the same boat.
Yes, I would say they are all just, I mean, things that are just supposed to help us to be able to
Just make payments.
Make payments.
But so Ghana Pay is a newer kid.
Yeah.
So essentially saying that the new platform Ghana Pay came from the Vice President's initiative to compete with the already existing small fintechs.
I wouldn't
is
say,
that it?
probably for lack of a better word, maybe wouldn't say compete.
Yeah.
Because I think it was then that in, as I mentioned, interoperability. That is when it was introduced. So I think it came to up the game, probably add something different to what they are doing.
I don't know. What do you think that different? Because I know that Express Pay or this Z Pay, Alex Pay or this Pay guys, this is their main business. Slide Pay, something Pay. This is their business. And now there's GH Pay, who's supposed to become Ghana Pay, who's supposed to become the top dog. Is it supposed to come and clear these guys out of the system? Does this not affect the young fintech groups that have, over the years tried to bring this sector up and consolidate for a better future?
No. I, like my colleague said, I don't think it's there to discourage people who are already in the fintech industry, but also it can also help them to also better their office. Understand? Because if you see what GPay is doing, and then
I've seen a new advert, chop make a chop.
Exactly. So
new office.
Yeah,
chop make a chop.
Yeah. So once they look at what GPay is doing, they begin to ask themselves, what can we also do? How can we also make our platform more easily accessible, or do some kind of changes to help our customers and all of that. So
this is good for the consumer.
For me, I think it's good.
And I think for GPay, I think they were more focused on much of the banks, the banking transaction than the Momo transaction, because the existing ones were normally focused on e-commerce,
e-commerce, shopping,
other
things online.
shops, so
Okay.
applications, but they came to focus much on the banking sector. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's conclude by discussing app developments in the year 2022. All we heard in 2022 was, oh, I have an app. This one, my service has an app. Everybody has an app. It's like buying bread in the morning. Everybody wants to buy bread to drink. To drink. Everybody has an app now.
Yeah.
What has been the impact generally of every small business developing apps and opening accessibility to their customers?
Okay, I think that is the new way to go. As I mentioned, I think COVID was a blessing in disguise, because after COVID, we've learned that we, probably if I saw bread in Ablekuma, it is only those who in Ablekuma, if I have
That
money,
would know your
that
bread.
would know my bread. Yeah.
But now,
But if I have an app and I utilize my social media platforms, everyone in Ghana will know
I know your bread.
there's this nice bread in Ablekuma. So it's a way to reach much audience and much customers. So that with the app, and makes transaction very seamless. You are even able to track your transactions, because if it's cash, what if your salesperson takes money and doesn't account for it? But with the app, you're able to see every transaction. Your monthly account is very simple. Let's make it very simple for you. So I think it's a new way to go, and that makes, because as the world is going, it becomes competitive, because there are a lot of products out there. So if you're using an app, that means I'm one step ahead of you. So yes,
Prince, you want to add something to that?
Yes. What I would want to add is, because from my background, I'm more of a security expert. So once these apps are designed, I'm looking at how secure is it. If I input my
card
my
details.
card details, how secure is it? Once it moves from my end to your end, how am I going to make sure, or how is it done, or how is it designed, so that somebody in the middle
To ensure
cannot
security,
exactly.
yes.
So of course, app development is good. It makes things easier, but in terms of security, I would always say security is very, very crucial in all of these things that we design. So some of the apps, of course, are designed very well. Some of them, do not have a lot of security to ensure that your details
Customers are safe and all of
exactly.
that.
So once these app developers design them, they should also consult people to be able to
make those improvements to make sure we are getting somewhere. Well, thank you both, gentlemen. But let's look quickly into this year of 2023. We've talked about all the technology and everything we've seen in 2022. Looking forward, especially for our country of Ghana, we've seen the registration of SIM cards. We've seen, I'm just learning that all that data is not still not consolidated and blah, blah, blah. That at least it has been collected. Let's look forward into how much we can employ better technology here in Ghana. What do you think? Or also from inside information, what do you think are the things, major technological moves that are going to happen for the country this year?
Okay, for this year, I think there will be upsurge in AI, artificial intelligence, because it is.
That's it?
It is one area which is really, it is not new. That is why I'm saying that. One issue is normally when it comes, we don't embrace it early. We wait.
You wait small
for the folks to enjoy it before we try to catch up. But now Ghana is doing so much in the field of AI, because I know Tony Blair Foundation Institute in Ghana, they're working on a policy framework for AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah, they had a forum for African women in AI last year in Ghana, and I think that is one big thing that we should look at. As I mentioned, I think also clean energy is one area which we should be looking at, clean energy. As in, because now people are also trying to go for the briquettes, the smokeless charcoal, solar taxi, electric taxi. These are
so
areas.
clean energy is what we are looking at this year.
Yes.
We're also looking at AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
In terms of security, what are we looking at this year?
For security, we are looking at the banks having security experts on site to be able to actually monitor their systems real time to detect some of these cyber fraud and other things that do happen. So I think 2023 is going to be a good year in terms of technology.
It's going to be a big
And
technological year. Guys, Jackie joins us. We'll do some celebrations. But you want to say something?
Yeah. I think to add to it, I think this year is going to be one make it interesting. Cybersecurity Authority is going to license all cybersecurity those who practice in organizations. So, and NITA is also going to license and register our IT professionals. So as my
You're going to register IT professionals.
and license them. So as he said,
in Ghana here.
In Ghana here. So now, if you want to build an app, as he said, okay,
you have to be authorized.
Authorized, so that no just anybody can.
That's going to happen this year.
Yeah, this year. It is starting this year.
That's information both of you have.
Yeah,
so it's absolutely legit. Interesting, guys. Francis and Prince, thanks for your time this morning. But stay with us.